Stop using Autopay. And I'm going to break down why. Anytime you get a new loan, you'll see this, where they'll give you nudges, or if you make a credit card payment, where they want you to set up auto payment. I'm going to give you 5 reasons why it's better not to. Paying for subscriptions you don't use. How many times you start a subscription with the excitement, you see the ad, you download the app, set up the auto pay, and then a short while later, you're no longer using that. Maybe you used it for a while, you just no longer need it, but it's set up on auto pay, so you're still getting billed every month. And then it's not till 3 months later where you see the charges every month on your statement, and then you're like, okay, now it's time for me to cancel it. But you've already been charged several times. And reason number 2 for not using autopay is you're less mindful of your expenses. I think it's funny in a world where meditation and mindfulness and being present is ubiquitous. It's talked about everywhere. It's talked in our culture for our health, for mental health, holistic health. But let's talk about our financial health. Auto payments are the exact opposite. It doesn't make us more aware of how we're spending our money. It puts us on autopilot. Set it and forget it. In Bankrate's 2025 Annual Emergency Savings Report, it states nearly 1 in 4 Americans don't have any savings at all. At all. And 30% have some, but wouldn't cover 3 months of expenses. So over half of all Americans have little savings. And if that's the case, then more attention of where your money is going is one of the first steps to a better financial life. This brings us to our 3rd reason that you're likely to just pay the minimum when using this auto pay feature. In December of 2023, Professor Jillian Wang wrote, "To pay or auto pay, FinTech innovation and credit card payments." So usually, you only get 2 options when you're setting up an auto pay. And you can try this if you pull up your app and try to set up an auto pay. And it's usually just the minimum and the full balance. Then Wang talked about in the paper, but the research shows that you are more likely to just pay the minimum payment. And if you're not paying off that full amount every month, you're going to accumulate interest and potentially rack up more and more debt over time. The 4th reason is an error in the bill and or the amount changes. It's easier to get customer service to explain and correct a bill before a payment has been made versus you pay it and then you're trying to get a portion refunded or the full amount refunded. Sometimes the amount of a subscription just went up, as they naturally tend to do over time. This allows you to ensure, 1, you have enough in the account to cover the increase, because you could get insufficient funds fees. And the 2nd reason I stated earlier is bringing it back to being more thoughtful. If you think the service isn't worth the new price, you can stop it before you are charged. And the 5th reason is it's harder to budget. You look at your account, you're going into the weekend, how much do I have to spend? Okay. And then you learn Monday morning you had an auto payment go through on Saturday or Monday morning. You're starting the week on a stressful note instead of being proactive with a sound understanding of what you're able to spend and what your budget is and how much is being paid and when it's going to be paid and from what account. You're more reactive of just seeing an auto pay go through and you forgot that it was going to go through on that day. There are exceptions to using auto pay. I do use auto pay for some things. Like, there are things where if you're going to get a rate discount for signing up for auto pay, that makes sense. Or having it where the loan payment, it stays the same, it's fixed for the life of it, that makes sense. Or a subscription, sometimes they require it. Like, I'm personally part of a book club, but they don't have an option just to pay manually. But things like say utility bills, where it can change month to month based on the usage and the cost, those are a perfect example of types of bills that I would suggest that you look at the bill each month and make a manual payment for those. All this to say, if you can't count the number of auto pays you have on one hand, it may be time to reevaluate what you are paying for and what you can cut out. And I'll end on this note that this isn't personalized financial advice. It's just my perspective of, in America where we're big consumers, I think if you can be more thoughtful on when you spend your money and how you spend your money, I think it will go a long way to your spiritual health and your overall well-being. So give it a try, and one love. Stay strong. Bye-bye.